Steelers fans, welcome to another call sheet breakdown. This is Kevin Smith of the Fans First Network and the Steel Curtain Network with you to do a quick breakdown of how the Steelers can help Mason Rudolph in Saturday's game against Cincinnati to succeed in the passing game. Obviously, Pittsburgh's passing game has struggled tremendously as of late, really all season long. And now with Rudolph, their third starting quarterback, about to take snaps, the Steelers have to find a way to be more successful with the pass. And so we're going to do a quick breakdown on something that they may be able to use to help them. And that is finding ways to pair their play calls in the passing game with the coverage that the defense is playing. Pittsburgh's got to be better at identifying coverage and dialing up appropriate coverage beaters for the calls the defense is giving. So let's just take a quick look at some examples from the last couple of weeks at where they've gotten it wrong, right? So let's start last week against the Colts. We're going to look real quick at the interception that Mitchell Trubisky threw on a post route to George Pickens. The problem the Steelers had here is they called a route that was a poor choice for the coverage that Indianapolis was playing. If you look at the route concept, they ran a sort of a deep hitch to Pat Freiermuth at the tight end. On the other side, they ran a similar deep hitch to Deontay Johnson. They kept Darnell Washington in the block here on the tight part of the 3-by-1. They brought Jalen Warren the back across Trubisky's face and then leaked him out into the flat. And they ran Trubisky on this sort of half boot and then wound up throwing the ball back to Pickens, who was running a deep post from the slot. All right, that's all well and good, but the problem is Indy was playing cover 3, which gave them a bracket look to everything that the Steelers were running, right? So you get the corner running to a deep third here, the corner running to a deep third here. You get a flat defender pushing out there. You get a second flat defender pushing out here. And then you get a couple of hook curl defenders dropping down the hash. And then the safety sitting right in the middle of the field. If you look at those gold lines, which represent the defense, versus those black lines, which represent the route concept, tell me where you would go with the football here. There really isn't anywhere to go, especially when Trubisky's taking a deep half boot. So the Steelers wind up targeting a post route against a middle of the field closed concept from Indianapolis. That's a bad match. That's just a poor design, and it winds up being basically a jump ball. As we run it through here, you can see as Pickens on the post route, I mean, the safety's got this thing read the whole way. It turns into a jump ball. Sometimes a jump ball to Pickens is a good thing. On this one, the safety wins, though. The problem here is, when you stop this, right, there's really nowhere to go with the football. Again, look at the routes that we've got here. Look at where the Steelers are. Are you going to go up here to Johnson? No. Are you going to go here to Freiermuth? No. In the flat, you can see that this defender has the flat route targeted, and there's the safety sitting over the top with help underneath on Pickens. There just isn't anywhere to go with the football. And again, that's a problem, obviously, for Trubisky, as he now just has to throw that thing up there, and Indianapolis intercepts it. If we go back a week to the game against the New England Patriots, we see an example of something similar. Here the Steelers are in a 5-wide receiver set. They're going to run a really simple route concept against the coverage, man coverage here from New England. You're going to get a little in-out combination at the bottom of the screen between George Pickens and Pat Freiermuth. Deontay Johnson's going to go vertical, and then you're going to get just a couple hitches on the outside. And if you look just at the route concept itself, it's really basic, and it's even worse when you consider that for every route, the Patriots have a man sitting there to defend it, as well as a deep safety in the middle of the field, and then a backer to sort of serve as your rat sniffing out any crossing routes. Again, where are you going to go with the football here? You could say, hey, maybe I'm going to target Pat Freiermuth in the flat, but as you're about to see, this alley defender is going to walk down and jump Freiermuth. It's just not a creative concept against man coverage, and this is fairly obvious man coverage from New England, the way that they're aligned pre-snap. Also, when you consider the fact that prior to this, Pat Freiermuth had lined up here and motioned across, and he got he got a rotation from the Patriots. They bumped with him to help them identify man coverage, and then they ran a fairly basic route against that man coverage. So as we play this, you just see there's just nothing there. There's nothing open. Trubisky winds up throwing the ball into the flat to Freiermuth. The Steelers get bailed out here because they get a pass interference call. But as we go, man, again, really, where are you going with the football? If Trubisky's looking up to the top of the screen and he really wants to go on target, on time, maybe he can throw the ball up here, right? If the ball's out right now. And he's probably going to complete that for about a 4-yard gain. But really, for the most part, there's just nothing open. And that's a problem the Steelers run into a lot. There's nothing open. Why is there nothing open? Because a lot of times they're calling routes that are poor matches for the coverage they're getting from the opposing secondary. So again, here we go. We'll go one more time here, right? You just don't see anybody there, and the Steelers get bailed out with a little pass interference call here. Now, occasionally, you do get good calls for the coverage that the defense is playing. Here's an example of such. The Steelers are going to get cover 2 from the Patriots, and they're going to have called a pretty good coverage 2 beater. So on this one, you're going to get Pat Freiermuth clearing out the safety with the deep skinny, right? You're going to get Deontay Johnson, the wide receiver in the bunch down here, running kind of a little whip concept to hold the corner. And then you're going to get Calvin Austin III with a deep corner route. And this is a really nice concept because the safety is occupied by the vertical, and the corner, who in cover 2 is the flat defender, he's held by this little whip route. And there's really nobody to play the deep corner route from Austin. You'll see the corner will fall back late on it, and the safety will come off of Freiermuth, but you're going to have a good window to throw the ball here to Austin. The problem here is quarterback Mitch Trubisky doesn't hang in the pocket long enough to complete the route. As you see the route start to develop, little quick motion there to help identify coverage. Watch what happens here as Austin breaks free. Look at Austin, man. You can see right now that Calvin Austin, with his speed, he's going to beat the corner, right? He's going to beat the corner here to the pylon on his route. That corner is not going to be able to recover. That safety is not going to be able to get over. But the problem is, where's Mitch Trubisky? Oh, he's right here. Mitch Trubisky has already left the pocket. He's bailed on the route, and he's now abandoning the pocket before this can develop. If Trubisky's sitting back here, right where I drew that X, in a fairly comfortable pocket, he's going to be able to hit this corner route before these 2 defenders can get over to effectively play it. But he's out of the pocket much too fast. That's a problem that has plagued both Trubisky and Kenny Pickett all year long. And as a result, we're not going to be able to complete this pass. This is going to wind up as a sack. We'll run it through one more time. You see, watch how fast Trubisky bails from the pocket. Watch how quickly he gives up on the routes. Snap. Austin breaking free right now, but Trubisky's already gone. When we look at it from the end zone view, you get a much better idea for how fast he goes. Watch Trubisky. 1, 2, 3, he's out. And these are deep developing routes, man. You got to hang in the pocket longer to let these things develop, and the protection's pretty good. He runs into the sack. Watch him one last time. Watch him run into number 3 here by bailing too soon. So, what's a recipe for success for the Steelers on Saturday against Cincinnati on offense? They got to be able to identify coverage. How do they do that? Use your shifts and motions. Chart your formations. What coverages are you getting to what formations? What coverages are you getting in certain down and distance situations? And use the information you're gathering from shifts and motions and charting plays to anticipate certain coverages, dial up the right routes for those right coverage concepts. And when you get those right routes called, the quarterback's got to stay in the pocket. One thing we've learned from Mason Rudolph over the years is this. He's willing to stay in the pocket, Mason Rudolph, right? He will stand in there, and he's willing to take a shot. And that might be what the Steelers need. So hopefully we'll have some better success on Saturday than we did the last couple of weeks. It's basically an elimination game, so the Steelers have no choice but to find that success. All right. Hopefully we'll be back here next week talking about some cheerier news when it comes to the Pittsburgh offense. Take care, everybody.